Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Earl's Classic Cars, where today we're back on this 2007 Ford Focus, finishing up what we said we were going to do in the last video, and that was replace the seat belts in this thing to try to cure the airbag light situation. Let's take a closer look at what we've got going on with the seat belts here. All right, we got it started. As you can see, the airbag light is still on, so we've got an issue there that still hasn't been solved. There, we'll turn that off. So we've got several things going on. When you get in an accident with a modern day car, and I know this thing's 18 years old, but still it's modern day in terms of airbag technology and everything else. Once you've had an accident like this one had with the deer and the airbag's gone off, then you've got several things that you've got to replace. It isn't just the airbag. There's several things involved in it, and let's go over that real quick. So not only do you have the airbag that you've got to replace, but there's sensors involved too. There's a switch underneath here, and there's a pretensioner here that can go off, and actually the seat belt buckle itself inside of here, there is a little canister that will go off, and all of that creates a fault or an airbag light going off in your car that will not, well, going on in your car that will not go off until you've replaced these things. They're kind of like a one and done use type of thing, where once you use them, it creates faults throughout the system, and until you replace those components, you can't get rid of the airbag, which is airbag light, which is what we've got going on in this situation. You have to there's an airbag module underneath the console here. That has to be reset, and you have to replace these one-time use components like the seat belt and the buckle sometimes, and the airbag, and even the clock spring inside of here went off. And how do you know that? Your signal light will not turn off once you're done turning left or right and headed down the road. So you've got that situation involved too. So we've had the clock spring replaced. This airbag's been replaced. We tried to get the module reset, but the guy who does resetting of the module said it will not work until you get these other situations. So we're still having 3 fault codes going off, and I'll show you a screenshot of that right now. So we've still got a seat belt here we've got to replace. Found out now, after these codes are going off, we've got to replace the passenger seat belt as well, and we've got to replace the seat belt buckle for the passenger side as well. So we've got a little bit of work to do here, and the good thing is that we've been to the junkyard 3 different times getting parts out of cars, found out those parts had been involved in an accident too. But when we went to the junkyard the other day to get this hood for this car and this fender, we found out that this car, or that car, had not been in an accident. So hopefully the seat belts, the pretensioners, the seat belt buckle, and everything, when we replace those today, will take care of the airbag light, or at least allow us to get the module reset, and then that will take care of the airbag light. So let's get started and replace the seat belts one more time in this car, as well as the seat belt buckle, and see if that doesn't solve the problem. Here are some of the previous components that we've gotten out of other junk vehicles. These particular things didn't really help. And this was the module that was coming out of this car actually had a different seat in it from a different version of the Ford Focus, the later Focus. And as you can tell, the plug is much different than this. So you've got to get the right generation for your car. So that involved going to the junkyard and getting an older seat that had the right connections. So now we've got a seat that matches it a little better. I thought it was a match, but come to find out, this one's got a little pattern in it. The ones over there do not, but that's close enough. It's at least the same generation. Over here on this side, we've got different airbag control modules that we've gotten out of the different junk cars in the junkyard, And unfortunately, if these have been involved in an accident, it's part of the memory, and you can't use these, or you have to find a way to get them reprogrammed. And so that hasn't helped us. This seat belt buckle, I guess, must have been in a previous accident, so that didn't help. And so we've got another one. And again, these are the kind of things you got to look for. They're no longer made by Ford or any sort of aftermarket replacements. And so you got to find these, and you got to find them without them being in an accident. And that's hard to do, especially the seat belts too. That's the thing that does not get manufactured anymore. Now you can send them off to a place and get them rebuilt for, like, I saw one place like $80, but the problem is you got to wait for a while, and we can't wait because this car's got to get to Canada. I was starting to take the seat off, unbolt the seat so we could take it off, but I'm looking at this now here where we've got the column and the seat belt, And I'm hoping that I can just take these panels off, get that seat belt out without having to take off the seat, because we don't need to disconnect the seat on this side like we do over there where we've got to get that buckle out and replace it. So we're going to try to get this seat belt out of here without taking off the seat, and we'll see if we have any luck with that. If we don't, then we'll take this seat out. Okay, so we got these panels off, and it looks like we're going to be able to do this seat belt without too much trouble. So all you got is these areas down in here that clip over here and over here on each side. So you pop them up, and then if you've got one of those tools for those little plastic clips or something flat like that, like a flathead screwdriver, you can pop these things off. You got to be careful, because if you don't take them off as direct as possible, you can break these things off. You've seen me already break off similar type of anchor points and things like that with little switches and stuff. So anyway, try to do that as much as you can, keeping it straight. And then the seat belt's really a pretty simple thing. You got this anchor point down here you got to take out with the Torx bit. Same thing here. And then this thing is going to pull out, and you can see right in here, there's a little yellow connector right here that is got to be undone. Then you got this clip here you've got to take out. And you got this anchor point up here that you got to take out. So we're going to put you back on time lapse, give you a little bit of entertaining music, and watch us get this taken apart. Okay, so right here, you can see the little canister, or the one-time use type canister that goes off, or once the seatbelt is engaged like that and the airbag goes off, it sends some signal to here that once it's done that, then you're going to get an airbag light, which means you got to replace this stuff. And here's the little connector. Be careful when you're taking these things off that they don't explode on you. I guess they can. Haven't experienced anything like that. Don't want to experience anything like that, and hopefully you won't either. But got this little connector right here that you got to take off as well. And we're going to take care of that right now and get the other belt on. Okay, so we've got it off, and as you can see, there's two little clips right here. You just pinch them in and then pull that thing straight out. And hey, I was able to do it and not break off one of these ears for a change, so pretty happy with that. Anyway, so there's the old one. We're going to plug the new one in, or the replacement anyway, put this together, and hopefully it will go in and help take care of the airbag light situation. Here's the part number if you're trying to look for a replacement, but I'm telling you, you won't find one out there, at least not new. Ford discontinued it years ago, even though they've still got several tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of these cars still on the road, but you can maybe get it sent to a place that can rebuild them. But that's the part number, and very important, we pulled out both. See that code right there? Left-hand side. So there is a difference, and you got to make sure you put them in on the correct side. All right, so we've got it plugged in, and when it's in there, you'll hear it click, which it did. So now we're going to go ahead and get this reinstalled and hopefully help solve part of the problem. Before bolting it up, check right there. You'll see that that tab is what holds that in place, and then you'll see that you can put your bolt in there. Don't put it in backwards. This needs to be just like this with this tab on here, and then you can see your hole for screwing that back in. Okay, so we've got that bolted down in there, not tight, but snug. And then we put the belt back through the faceplate and everything that covers up the seat belt. And then you got to put it up here, and anchor it up here. And there's this little piece right here. I didn't have it fall out when I took the seat belts out of the other ones in the junkyard, but this one did as I was doing it, but it goes right here. Make sure you put that in there. It'll sit in there long enough for you to buckle up your belt at the upper anchor point. Okay, so we got that snug up in there. Then we're going to go ahead and get this plate anchored back down in here. Well, not quite, because we got to tighten that bolt down, but we're going to go ahead and get this anchored down there at the bottom, and then we're going to get that plate all put in place. Okay, so we've got all three of them in here. As you can tell, that's anchored down in there. We did tighten that down. We've tightened this one down, and we tightened that. So it's three anchor points. Now it's time to get this plate back on here and make sure this belt retracts and extends out like it needs to so that the driver can use it. Well, it wouldn't be a hack in the shack type video if we didn't do something wrong. We put the belt through, but guess what? The cover panel here is upside down. See that? That's right side up. This is upside down. So we get to take the anchor point off again and sift the belt through there and sift it back through the right way. Hey, I bet you've done it too. You just won't admit it. All right. Amazing how much better that goes together when you put the panel on right side up. We got the bottom panel in, re-anchored the seat belt, and now we'll be ready to use this thing. Hopefully, this one has not been in an accident, and this seat belt will help cure our airbag light problem. As for this one, it's going to go to the junkyard because it didn't work or it's already been in an accident, and you can return them as long as you have your receipt and they have this mark on them. So we're going to take it back and get a little money back on this project. All right, let's test this seat belt out, see if it'll work. Get the head of it back out of here. There we go. Oh yeah, all right. Oh, these are seat belts, that's right, not racing belts. Oh well, different video. I know what you were thinking. You were thinking, hey, did he remember to tighten down that bolt on the seat he was starting to take off? I do now. Get that tightened back down there. Make sure the seat is safe and ready to go. We did our little race car montage there. I realized the seat was a little loose, so let me get it tightened back down. All right, good to go. Now we've got to do the seat belt on the other side. Not going to bore you with in the video any more than I maybe already have by showing you how we do the thing on the right side, which is the exact same thing, but we are going to take the right seat off, change out that belt buckle and everything, and we will show you that part. For the seat, you've got 4 Torx bit bolts that you've got to get off. There's one over there. There's one over here. Those are both in the back. Slide the seat up, make your life a lot easier getting to those bolts. And then of course, you can get the 2 here. So you can start front or the back, it doesn't matter. It's just 4 bolts that'll take the seat off, but be careful. Don't just go ripping the seat out because you've got this connector connected to your airbag connections underneath here, and there's also a big plug that goes underneath the carpet and over to the airbag module. So you want to just tip this up carefully, make sure you keep slacking the wires so you don't pull them or break them, and then you can worry about getting the seat belt buckle out like we're going to, which is 1 wire that disconnects, and then we'll be able to put the other one in. Okay, so we got the seat up like we said we're going to, and this is what I was talking about. See this connection right here? This is all part of the airbag system, seat belt system, so that the airbags and the seat belts all work together. And you see this connection right here, so you don't want to just try to go yanking the seat off. We got to unplug this, which there is an easy, this is usually pretty easy. There's a little squeeze tab on the bottom right here, and then once you keep squeezing it, then you can start to work it off. Let's see if we can get that to happen here. There you go. See, we got it off just like that. And didn't break any tabs either. I'm telling you, we're two for two here. That's pretty good for me. All right, so the seat belt itself, though, has got another wire. It's a little hard to show you, but it goes underneath the seat, goes over to the seat belt buckle, and plugs into the back of this. And so that's what we're going to have to get out of here and replace and put the new buckle on. But we're going to go ahead and take the seat out too, because we've still got to do the seat belt on this side before we do the buckle. All right, so we've got the passenger seat upside down, and this is the anchor point we've got to take off here to get this buckle off. But then there's a wire that comes through from the seat belt right here, goes around and comes back up through here to the connector. So we got to get that out of the back and be able to put the new one in there instead. So we're going to do that right now and show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, so we got the replacement seatbelt buckle on here. Interesting thing, I don't know if it's just a passenger thing or not, but I was concerned that the replacement had 2 plugs and the original did not, but that's only on the driver's side. The driver's side just has this wire connector here, routes out through here, comes over here to the seat buckle. but the passenger one has this additional wire right here, and it plugs in right there. And be careful, if you want this thing to be anchored, you got to pull this plastic anchor out first, and then it's got a little clip that hooks on the backside right here, that little nub. You got to get it up and over there and slide that out, and then you can use that plastic anchor point on your replacement. If you don't, you could break it like I usually do, and then you're tough out of luck. But the replacement's in there. We're going to go ahead and figure out if this works or not. Matthew said we've got an example of a driver's one, and this is the driver's one right here. See this? It's just got the one wire as opposed to the passenger, which has two wires, and I'm sure that's a safety thing, a weight thing to see if the passenger is too small to be in the front seat. There's your difference. There's the passenger one. Again, two wires. See down here? They both have the same single wire connector down here, but the passenger has this additional auxiliary wire. And again, I think that's just additional safety that to determine if the passenger should be sitting over there or if a passenger is sitting over there, I guess. But there you go. We're going to go ahead and do a little cleanup here. As you can tell, it's got 18 years worth of crud and stuff under here. So we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up while it's free and easy to get to. And we're going to get this car detailed too. Look at these seats. Believe it or not, doesn't smell bad, but it sure does look bad. So we're going to get these things cleaned up, get this car looking good before he heads off to Canada. We got Matthew on the hardest part here, the detail. Vacuum faster.
Not really helping much.
Trying. All right, guys, the moment of truth has come. We've got the seat belts installed and the seat belt buckle replaced. We're going to start it up and see if any way we could have some luck and the airbag light go off without having to take it back and get it reprogrammed. Don't have much hope, but we're going to give it a try. Matthew says it's a 10% chance, so what you're telling me is there is a chance. All right, let's see. Well, we did, while we were in here doing everything else, get it vacuumed up and everything, so now it's just filthy looking instead of being filthy and full of crud. So we got that part cleaned up anyway. So we'll get it taken care of. We'll get it back to the shop, see if they can reprogram it, and we'll let you know how it turned out. And stay tuned to see more from me, Earl with the knee.